We are starting recording. All right, welcome to our final debate. Eesh, you are first. You ready to go?
Yes.
Starting in 3, 2, 1, and begin.
Pant negates resolved. All secondary schools in the United States require all students to wear school uniforms during school. My sole contention is financial costs. Subpoint A. Uniforms increase the financial costs. Rankin wrote in 13. Ideally, uniforms were put into place to save parents money. Purpose was to stop parents from having to buy new clothes for their children at the start of school. This makes administrators seem very naive. People buy their children new clothes anyway, so why make them spend more money on clothes that will only be worn to school? Casual clothes will be an asset because no one will have to spend that much more money on making sure the child has the right shoes, pants, and shirt, etc. for school. Not to mention, khaki pants are also impossible to find and they're expensive because distributors know they can charge however much they like for them. Parents can buy a whole new wardrobe of casual clothes for the same price as or even less than as the price of one or two outfits for a school uniform. Therefore, uniforms do not save parents money. Subpoint B. Money is important because every good or service you buy requires money, and people want to save it so they can get things they need, rather than getting stuff that like is not really needed.
Okay. Questions from the audience? Raise your hand if you have a question. Izan, you're first.
I know you said buying uniforms costs more money than buying a classical wardrobe. Do you have any data that proves that statement?
No, but I do have the card which says that, which clearly states that, and they probably would have done some research on that.
Remember, if you have a question, hit the hand raise button. You don't have to physically raise your hand. Arav, you were second.
So you said that uniforms don't save parents money and they need to spend that money on things they actually need. How do you know that uniforms aren't something they need? I mean, it's clothing that does help
Because
in
because
school.
listen, if we have casual clothes, like they don't need uniforms because they don't need to wear it anywhere else in school. But if they have like normal clothes, which is needed because like you have to wear normal clothes when you go outside to like the store or something like that. But you don't wear uniforms. That means they're not required. And they're only needed for school, and that's just bad because that costs more money.
Journey.
So you said you shouldn't spend the money on the uniforms and because of other things that they need. Do you mind giving me some examples of things that people would need?
Okay, they need shelter, they need food, they need to pay the mortgage if they're renting someplace, they need to pay off the bank for any loans, they need to pay for school if like they need to pay for like food, water, shelter, like pay rent, pay
Okay, last
taxes.
question, Ahana.
So you said that uniforms don't keep the school safe, but how do you know that
I never said uniforms don't keep people safe. When did I say that?
you said that in your card?
No, my card is nothing that says that. I
Okay,
can put my card.
next up is Shahzeb.
Wait, there's no.
Starting, ready to go?
Yeah.
Starting in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Con affirms resolved. All schools in the United States should require students to wear uniforms at school. My sole contention is academic achievement. Subpoint A. School uniforms improve academic performance. Brandon St. Augustine Prep wrote in 2017. Schools that have implemented school uniforms have seen an increase in students' academic performance. A study by the University of Notre Dame shows a statistical elevation in student performance among students who wear uniforms. Students are often focused on their wardrobe that distracts them from learning. They also believe that uniforms set a more serious tone within the school environment, which is more conducive to learning and can improve student performance. Subpoint B. Academic achievement matters because if you're failing in school, there's no point of going to school and as a whole. So might as well do something that may give you higher grades.
Okay, questions from the audience. First question up is Nina. Go ahead.
Do you have any actual data that uniforms will improve the performance?
So, as I said before, there was a statistical elevation. I don't have the exact data in my card, but by the University of Notre Dame, there is a statistical elevation in student performance.
Okay, next up is Lana.
said this and I didn't hear you, but what year was if this research was taken a bit while ago, like let's say over 10 years or over 5 years, how do you know that information is still valid? How do you know things haven't changed?
So my card was written in 2017. And also, I know that this information is still valid because if uniforms have affected student performance, students without uniforms are getting better. But at the same time, students with uniforms are also getting better. So it still stays with students that have uniforms. So it still stays with uniforms having better academic achievement.
You said that academic achievement matters because if you're failing school, why should you go to school? But is that really valid? Because not every, even if some kids fail in school, it doesn't mean they're always failing in every single class. They could be excelling in one class and failing in the other, meaning that there's still a purpose to go to school and learn something about that. So
yeah, but academic achievement is something that helps every single period. It's not something that just helps like math or English. It is something that would make you excel more in all periods.
Last question, Aislinn.
Back to what Rob said when you said that if you fail like the school thing, how do you know let's say what year was that made? It could be from 2012, like a long time ago, and not been recorded from now.
That's subpoint B, by the way. But also, like if you have straight Fs, let's say, why would you want to be going to school? You'd probably figure out something that would maybe move your grades up, such as school uniforms.
Okay, that's time. You ready to go, Eesh?
Yes.
Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1, begin.
So they were first talking about academic achievement as their sole contention. So at academic achievement, no link. Uniforms have no effect on academic achievement. According to Freakonomics, written in 11, according to a new study by researchers at the University of Houston, school uniforms have seemed to be decently effective in improving student attendance and teacher retention, but have no impact on improving student achievement. This and also financial costs outweigh academic achievement because if you don't have money, you can't go to school. So why have academic achievement? Also, they don't make sense. Like, what does a piece of clothing do? Like, is there some magic powers? Like, there's no way I put on a school uniform and my grades suddenly become better. This clearly does not make sense. And also, like, this just doesn't make sense how a piece of cloth can do anything to somebody's
Card comparison.
My card is better than their card because their card's warranting is worse, and our card and my card has better because statements, and it makes more sense because this is clear. Makes clear sense if you buy casual clothes for like one price, and you buy school clothes that you only use in school. That will be more than just buying just buying extra casual clothes. Okay. That makes clear sense, and their card doesn't.
First person, Aislinn.
Well, when you said that it doesn't just like when you put on uniform, your grades just go up instantly. Well, there's a point that school uniform does help your grades go up, but like, where's that evidence from?
I don't know what you're saying. If you're trying to say that where's the evidence that school uniforms doesn't increase student achievement, there was a study in 2011 from the University of Houston that shows that school uniforms seems to be effective in improving attendance and teacher retention, but attendance is not student achievement. Student achievement, last time I checked, was grades, not attendance, and it says have no real impact on improving achievements. So their case is completely gone.
Okay, Allison.
You say it affects the attendance, but attendance also affects your grade.
No, actually, I beg to differ. Attendance, every time somebody's tardy, do they take it away from your grade? I don't think so, because the grade is like how well you do in schoolwork, tests. Are you turning in your homework? Are you not? Attendance doesn't have anything to do with schoolwork in most schools. There might be some schools where that has some effect, but that's attendance effect that's probably little.
Lana. You're muted.
Shoot, sorry. So actually that's untrue because attendance, and as well as in this school and in private schools, which is usually where they put uniforms, attendance it has an impact on your grade. If you miss a class, they take away points. If you don't attend a class, you're not going to get points for that day. So attendance does very much matter in your grades.
Okay.
And also, if it just says it helps attendance, not only does it affect academic achievement, does it anywhere specifically say it doesn't have an impact on academic achievement?
No, but actually, if you're tardy, it's talking about tardy. It's not talking about actually skipping class. But it's talking about if you're tardy. If you're tardy, I don't think they don't take points away from you.
They do.
Because I've been tardy a few times and they don't take points away.
Last question, Akam.
Yes. Well, I just want to say that yes, they do. Even in this school, they still take points away for being tardy. There's an attendance goals part in your plus portals if you check that, and it lowers your grade.
That's not
every time you get
points
a tardy.
taken away. Does it say? When I check my grade, it doesn't say -2 for missing class for being late.
Okay, that's time.
So
Shahzeb, you ready to go?
Wait, I'm sorry for interrupting, but Eesh, it's actually for participation. That's what it goes off.
Eesh, okay. Shahzeb, you ready to go? We sort of
Give that
got a little
question,
derailed
please.
from the questioning period. Turned into a classic PF crossfire. Shahzeb, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, begin.
They say uniforms increase financial cost. 1. Link turn. Uniforms decrease financial cost. Bernard, a blogger, wrote in 2016. When students are permitted to wear what they want to, they become subject to the latest fashion trends. Parents are forced to keep up with these trends and buy their children the latest clothes or risk having their child get teased. School uniforms save parents money. Instead of having to buy new clothes with each incoming trend, parents have only to replace the school uniforms with their child when their child physically grows out of the clothes or they rip. 2, academic achievement outweighs financial cost because if your grades are good, you should be willing to sacrifice a small amount of cash per year toward your uniform. They were saying a lot about how attendance doesn't affect your grade, although, like one of the judges pointed out, it does affect your participation grade in many schools across the countries. Also, they were going on about how uniforms increase financial cost. But no, uniforms increase financial cost, but I say they don't. That is because if parents have to keep up with these trends during summer breaks, the parents have to buy their kids new clothes for the weather. Like in winter, they have to buy their kids jackets, hoodies. My card outweighs because the recency. My cards are wrote in 2016 and 2017, although theirs is wrote in 2013 and 2011. This means that my card is more recent, which makes it more valid.
Okay, time. Questions from the audience. We'll start out with Ahana.
You said that if your grades are good, you should still pay for school, but what if they're not? Why would you still want to pay for it?
As I said before, the point of uniforms is so then your grade goes up. But if your grades are still low, they shouldn't be too low because of academic achievement. That is because your grades will usually be higher because of academic achievement. That is why you have to have uniforms, because if you don't have uniforms, then that cuts out, because then there's no point to go to school if you don't have really bad grades. So yeah.
Arav.
You say there's only 2 ways that you have to change out your uniform, and that's when it's ripped or you grow out of it. But technically, there's a lot more ways, like getting a stain on you, wash it the wrong way, etc. How can you defend that?
So I know I only listed a couple of them, but the thing is that if the parents have to keep up with the latest fashion trends for no uniforms, they have to keep buying more and more and more clothes according to the weather, how it is outside. They're gonna have to buy hoodies, which is far more expensive than having to buy more uniforms.
Okay, Allison.
You said that you should sacrifice like a small amount of money on uniforms, but what if that small amount is all you have? And instead of using it on food or like something like that, you're using it on uniform.
So you shouldn't be, if you're financially low on money, there wouldn't be a reason to be going to private school or schools that would be requiring things. Pretty much all I'm saying is that you shouldn't be going to schools that require money for like things like let's say like some schools give lunch for free. I know there are some schools like public schools, some of them give lunch for free. So you should be going to some of the public schools that give lunch for free if you're financially low on money.
Okay, that's time. Eesh, ready to go?
Yes.
You got 2 minutes. Remember the card comparison.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, begin.
So I'm just gonna quickly start about their card comparison. They say their card is more recent, but that recency in a matter of 2 or 3 years, 2, 3, or 4 years, really doesn't matter. If my card was maybe in 1996 or something like that, it would matter. But this is only a few years where prices don't change much, and there hasn't been any big events such as economic downturns or anything for the prices or anything really much to change. They were talking about how you should go to public schools. Actually, I believe the resolve says that all secondary schools, meaning public, private, and Christian / like every school, should buy uniforms. This completely like invalidates what they're saying. And basically, since it's all schools, like you still have to pay, which brings back to what one of the judges said, like, why would you use it if you need it for money and everything? And so basically, this completely invalidates what they're talking about, like going to a public school where they give away free lunch. Like, what does that do really? Also, their link doesn't make sense. I put on a uniform, I suddenly get better grades. It doesn't make any sense. And they always talk about the fashion trends. The fashion trends, parents don't have to buy it, and people won't tease them. Like the fashion trends, you don't have to keep up with. You can just buy some normal like t-shirt and some normal like shorts or pants, and that's what you wear to school. Like, and also they're talking about the weather. People already plan ahead, say for like winter, if it snows where you are, they already plan ahead by buying snow gear and everything. I know that for fact because I used to live in Chicago. My parents always planned with like heavy sweaters, snowshoes, and all that. Also, my link makes more sense because if you buy casual clothes for say $100, and then you have to buy uniforms, which my card says is very expensive, so let's put it at $200. That's $300 instead of maybe buying twice the amount of casual clothes, which is $200. $300 is more than $200, which basically we save more money, and money should be saved because, as I said before, money is important.
Okay, so I'll give you about 1 minute to submit a ballot. Oh, I'm sorry, Shahzeb's up.
Needs to go.
Sorry. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Starting in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay, judges, I believe that my case outweighs because my case is more probable and more recent. I think that the opponent misheard my rebuttal because because they were thinking that I said something that like they shouldn't be going, that like public schools are like cheaper. That's not what I said. I was saying that if someone is financially low on money, they should go to a school that produces free lunch and food for the students. Also, the opponent was saying how recency does not matter. That is invalid. Recency does matter because even if there is no economic downturn, that does not mean that nothing has changed since the past. Financial costs have changed since the past, which means that there is a difference, and that could financially change someone's life. If, let's say, the money goes down by $10, that could still financially change someone's life. The opponent was saying that my link term does not make any sense. Although my whole constructive was about my link turn, so maybe they weren't listening. I was mainly saying that when students are permitted to wear what they want, they go on fashion trends. They keep buying new clothes according to the weather. They say that people plan earlier, that's still money gone. Even if they do plan earlier, you still have to buy the clothes. And they are saying that parents are forced to keep up with these trends. They're saying that I say that parents are forced to keep up with these trends and buy their children the latest clothes or risk having their child get teased. They say that that is not going to happen. They have no evidence that is not going to happen. I have evidence stating that there's a 53% chance that the child will get teased. And this is saying that there is a chance that the children will get teased. 53% is still a percent chance. If there's 53% chance you're going to get hit by a car, you're still not going to walk home careful. You're still not going to walk home normally. You're going to be scared that you're going to get hit by a car.
Okay, time. Everyone, you have about 1 minute to vote, and then we'll announce winners. Everyone should know where the debate ballot is on the drive to fill out. We have 9 ballots turned in, about half the class. Eight ballots left. Eight ballots left to turn in. Please turn in as soon as possible so we can give our announcements. 7 ballots left. About 20 more seconds if you want your ballot to count. 5 left.
Wait, are you gonna start reading all the ballots once all the ballots come in?
Yes.
Okay.
4 left. 3 left. 4 left, sorry. Please submit. 3 left. 2 left. Last 2, now's the time to submit. Arnold Aislinn, have you submitted? Arnold
Yes, I did.
Aislinn, have you submitted? All right, so let's go ahead and read some ballots. For everyone that turned in a ballot, 1 for the con because the pro didn't answer my questions and instead dozed them and talked about a completely different topic. 1 for the con because I know Shahzeb is going to win because of his enthusiasm, but I vote for Eesh because he has evidence and good statements that Shahzeb could not something. 1 for the pro because I believe Eesh more, but Shahzeb has data. Also, Shahzeb is more recent. 1, Shahzeb won because Eesh had misinformation and no data to back up his claims. 1 for the for the con because Eesh had better points and was not stuttering as much as Shahzeb. I like his explanations for everything. He actually had good data. 1 for the con, I vote for Eesh because he has better information and can answer questions faster. Plus, Shahzeb cannot answer some questions. Good job to both. One for the pro. Pro wins because he had data to back up his statements. He was very confident, and the con stammered a lot. The pro is very straightforward. One for the pro. They won because they had good rebuttals. Then the con. The pro won because they were more confident and convincing. The pro won because the con made a mistake in saying that you don't get points taken off for being late. One for the con because they both did very well, since it was probably the third, fourth time debating, but Eesh was able to speak clearly. Eesh also made some point clear that there was a study in which school uniforms. One for the con, very close debate. I think the con had better evidence. One for the con because he brought up good points and strong points. One for the pro because his point on recency made a lot more sense, and recency is more important. One for the pro because it makes more sense. One for the pro because he didn't give up and stood up for his reasons. One for the pro because Shahzeb had better data and explanations. So I think that makes the decision a what?
Pro, ahead by 3. I was counting all the things.
Okay, well, there's our announcement. The pro is the winner by 3 ballots, but it was really, really close. So pat yourself on the backs. Good job. And I'll stop the recording.